Welcome back to Strong's Little Farmhouse and part 4 of our Pantry Makeover series. Watch our previous videos where we turn this ugly closet into something beautiful by adding cedar planking and seamless wraparound shelves. Today we're adding this gorgeous pecan-colored countertop right in the pantry. So I got this idea to put a counter inside the pantry so that there's a place to unpack groceries, hold an appliance or two that we aren't using every day. Because we're so limited in counter space in the kitchen, this is going to be some additional counter space for us to work on. This is a piece you buy as is off the shelf. We're going to sand it, stain it, shellac it, and it'll be beautiful. These laminated panel boards come pre-sanded, but I'm using 120 grit to just give it the perfect finish. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Before I stain, I want to distress this up just a little bit because the house is 101 years old, and if we put in a brand new sparkly counter in that pantry, it's going to look a little out of place. So what I've got here is a few little fun items to help distress this. I've got a couple of lengths of old rusty chain. I've got 2 different size screws. I've got just a nut. And then this is the drill bit you use to putting in a handle on a door. But I really love all the teeth around this edge, and I think that's going to look really cool. So this is all you do is go and have some fun. Okay, so the chain gave some really nice background texture. We just want a few little lumps and bumps along the way. Not too much, but it's going to give this kind of a little bit more of a well-worn look. Next, we're going to take these really good wood screws that's got a lot of teeth on them, and we're just going to lie them on the table and just randomly give them a tap like that. And you can see this really great edge that it leaves. And all these little marks do is they are going to, see if you can see that, there you go. They're going to pick up a little bit more stain and give this a lot of texture. Another thing you can use is just nuts like this. See, that's got a little crescent. Yeah, I like that a lot. So I'm just going to throw a few random And because we're going for a little bit of a steampunk industrial look, I'm gonna add this little thing. I couldn't find a gear, which a gear would look so great on this, but this will be close enough. I really like the effect. Yesterday, we got our countertop piece distressed, and so today we're going to get this stained. Oh, this color is beautiful. It has a light blonde finish, but it has a little red undertone. But that little red undertone is going to look so great with the cedar planking in the pantry. So I think we made the perfect choice. Plus, always check your oops shelf in the stores where you're buying your paint. A lot of times you can get some really good deals there. This particular one was on the oops shelf. Someone had bought it, decided it was the wrong color, brought it back. So a $10 bottle of urethane cost me $3.80. That's right. I'm using an inexpensive chip brush to put the urethane on. because I'm just going to throw it away after. Oh no, can't use a chip brush. Look at all the bristles going in. This is trash. Oh crap. Son of a beep. Watch where you walk over here. And now I have a brush that's too big for the can. I'm telling you, what is going on? Okay, a couple lessons to learn from my mistakes. Number one, I tried using a chip brush because I don't want to have to clean the brush. I just want to throw it out. And they were leaving bristles all over in the urethane. So I decided I'll just go get one of my older regular bristle brushes to put this on. So now it doesn't fit in the container. So I gotta do this. But I've gotta hurry fast because this polyurethane is drying in this heat before I can manipulate it. So just gonna have to work with what I got. Also, I started right in the center of the board. Not a good idea. Start on an end and work your way down. The color is gorgeous though. So here's what I'm using. Minwax Polyshade, and it's got the stain and the polyurethane inside. So it's supposed to be like a few less steps. All right, now since this has polyurethane in it as well, we're gonna kind of correct the strokes because I quick got it on there because I'd made such a mess. Oh, it's such a mess. And I need to take and smooth this out in nice long strokes. That person is determined to die. Well, I probably didn't do this right, but I'm super happy with the color and how it's coming out. And look, this was my stir stick for the urethane, but this is the cedar. Look how great that is gonna look. Don't touch it. Oh man, I touched it. Look at that. Dag nabbit. Anyway, look how great that's gonna go with the cedar. Oh, I love it. All right, now I gotta fix my touch mark. Also, I wanted to show you how great the distress marks are coming out. Look at that. I just love the look of this, as if it's been here forever, and just, it looks so great. So beautiful. Learn from my mistakes. Don't throw away the paintbrush until you're completely done, because I had to drag it out of the trash to try and fix a fingerprint and it had paint on it. Okay, so it's Sunday and we try to take Sunday off, but we have so much to do, we're gonna keep working. So I have the countertop has cured overnight, 8 hours, and so now I'm going to sand it. But we're not actually going to sand it. We're going to use steel wool. We're just going to give it a light rub down. And what this does is it takes the urethane edges down from applying it with the brush. Helps with a little bit of the rough edges. You don't have to do a lot. You just want to get kind of a smooth finish. This is feeling pretty good. We have decided that we love the color as is, we love the details as is, and we're not going to put a second coat on. Instead, we're going to put a clear polyurethane coat to seal everything in. You definitely want to use this in a well-ventilated area. We're outside, so check. So, I think we're ready. I'm a new DIYer. I mean, this is just going to be a whole lot of fun updating this farmhouse. And we're doing it all ourselves because we're on a really tight budget. And we're learning as we go. And, you know, sometimes when it doesn't come out right, it's okay. It still works. So I only have left these wide paintbrushes for a little can. I'm just going to squish this like this and put it down in there. You only want to get about an inch of lacquer on the brush. And then don't start in the middle. Start at one end and just pull the lacquer across. And you're just pulling it out and getting it nice, thin, and even. So I am going to call this good and move on to the next row, like this. Now you don't want to over brush it because it's sort of like self-leveling. Okay, I feel like that's really good. So I'm just going to wrap this brush. I'll come back in 2 hours and do another coat. Sledgehammer might be a little bit overkill for closing up the can, but it's what I got, and it worked. Well, one of the downfalls of working outside is I have bugs stuck in my lacquer. It sort of reminds me of that part of the movie in Jurassic Park where they drill into the amber to get the DNA. Well, I have DNA in my board. So it's coming out beautiful. It's been 2 hours since I last put on the last thing. It's perfectly dry and cured. I'm gonna put on the next coat, and this product is so great because I don't have to do any sanding in between the layers. So I'm thinking one more coat ought to do it. I might go for 3, but we'll see. Because painting with lacquer and polyurethane and stain is really hard to clean out. So I'm not going to clean it. I'm just going to toss this brush. I know it's a little wasteful, but I don't want to clean it. For the second coat, I'm going to start down at the opposite end. And make my brush strokes go the opposite way. Did you see that? The butterflies have loved, I don't know if it's the smell, it must be, but all the painting and staining we've been doing on our recent projects, we've had so many butterflies. I don't think I'm going to need a third coat, but just in case, we'll use this brush again. Whoops. Once the board was finished, we cut it to length and fit it into the pantry. But it was way too wide. It came right up to the edge of the door. You couldn't even step into the pantry, let alone reach the shelves. So we're going to have to cut it back and see if we can make this work. So I had this great idea. We're gonna trim off the front end. Normally you'd trim off the back. But we're going to trim off the front end 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to use that as almost like a backsplash on the counter, and it'll look great. So I've marked 3.5 inches on the back of the board right here, and my very skilled and handy husband is going to use the skill saw to cut it off nice and straight. Let's watch and see what happens.
Normally you would use a table saw to cut this, but our table saw is buried in storage and we can't get to it, so we're having to cut this like the cavemen used to.
All right, let's go.
You don't want to start and stop your blade in the middle of a cut. That's dangerous and stupid, which is why we did it.
So now this is going to be the counter, and this is going to go like a backsplash. Looks good, right? I also have a little trim piece that's going to go right on the front of this, so it's going to be a perfect way to finish it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Whoa! Thunder and lightning. Can you hear that?
That's another smart thing to do, is go play with power tools in the middle of a thunderstorm.
It's very awesome out here.
Once the trim was finished, we used some wood glue and some brad nails to attach it to the front of the counter. This additional counter space in the pantry is going to be so helpful. But now we got to figure out what to do with this old damaged wood floor. See you next time. Don't forget to turn on that bell notification so you know the next time we upload another video from Strong's Little Farmhouse.